Coming up on the April 21st edition of Carolina Week, more construction is on the way. We'll tell you where you'll be seeing new orange barrels and fences. It's the science of construction.
Downloading music legally might be easier than you think. Digital Music Day was a time for students to find out how.
And the search for a new Vice Chancellor of Student Affairs continues. All that and more.
Carolina Week starts now.
From the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, this is Carolina Week.
Good evening and welcome to the final edition of Carolina Week this semester. I'm Jenny McClendon.
And I'm Catherine Chang. Thanks for joining us. Our top story tonight, UNC Chapel Hill Management Company's Chief Investment Officer, Mark Yusko, is resigning to pursue opportunities elsewhere. Yusko's resignation comes after he and members of the Board of Trustees clashed about their visions for university investment. Yusko denies he chose to leave the university because of a low salary. The former CIO has led Carolina's management company to be one of the nation's chief investment models for higher education. He'll serve out his term through June 30th.
As if there weren't enough orange barrels and construction fencing on campus already, campus members gathered Wednesday for the groundbreaking of a $205 million physical science complex. The complex is the largest construction project in the history of UNC. Construction might be a headache, but UNC System President Molly Broad says it's worth it.
When you get a chance to take a look at this model, you will know that the tangible consequences of this are going to produce one of the finest science complexes you will find anywhere in the world.
Construction of the Carolina Physical Science Complex is scheduled to be complete in 2009.
Downloading legal music is now possible at UNC Chapel Hill. Wednesday marks the first ever Digital Music Day on Carolina's campus. Students visiting the Great Hall had the opportunity to download their favorite songs for free and burn them to CD, while also asking questions about how they can get music legally. Organizer Adam King says Digital Music Day is a good way to make students aware of the consequences of illegal downloading.
Second time, then all your computer privileges get revoked. You don't have email.
The Recording Industry Association of America has brought suit against several students for downloading illegally, one of them here at Carolina.
As the search for a new Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs continues, the second of three finalists talked with students Tuesday. Dr. George Harpster, the current Vice President for Student Affairs at Shippensburg University, spoke to Student Congress about his views of UNC Chapel Hill issues, one of which was free speech.
You must hear as many sides of an issue as you can. If we expect you to leave the institution and be real participating, contributing members of a very complex and confusing world right now, you have to know how to think and examine issues.
Student Congress also asked the UNC alum and former staff member questions relating to his management policies and why he'd be the best choice for Carolina.
A meeting Thursday could lead to a facelift for some South Campus dorms. The UNC Board of Trustees will discuss the fate of Hinton James, Craig, Ehringhaus, and Morrison after hearing presentations about campus housing goals. Options include demolition, limited renovation, or no changes to the 4 dorms. Officials will take available housing, time, and cost into account in making the decision.
Life in another country can be really tough, especially if you don't speak the language. What would you do for information? Carolina Week's Joe Mott takes a look at how Hispanics in the area receive their news.
For Americans, news is everywhere. You see it in newspapers, the internet, radio, and countless television channels. But what if you don't speak English? Hispanics are the largest growing demographic in the country, but Spanish news is less than handy. Zuela Rivas explains her troubles reading English newspapers.
I never read them because it's hard to read and know exactly what it is they're talking about. If one part says something and I don't understand it, then I can't understand the rest of the story.
For a full understanding, many Hispanics turn to Univision, a Spanish news channel on cable, but the channel doesn't cover any local news. Mauricio Castro helps run a nonprofit group to help Hispanics called El Centro Latino, and he says their source is much more common.
Whenever there are issues in which we need to act upon on an emergency scale, what we normally do is that we visit the soccer fields.
El Centro Latino in Carrboro is a similar gathering place. It holds English classes, allows computer use, and is a great place to discuss the news. Its volunteers tried to spread the word when Hurricane Fran wreaked havoc across the state, and Ana Lily Rivera recalls her problems preparing.
Especially during the hurricane, there were many people that didn't take interest in precautions over what they should protect and save in their houses.
But emergencies can be helpful. Federico Helderin is the editor of a Spanish media group in North Carolina called Que Pasa, and seeing people's need during Hurricane Fran is what called him to his career.
I was shocked because, people calling, they didn't know what was going on because they can't get the news from any source. So I really promised myself at some point that I would have a radio station to help these people.
Que Pasa has newspapers and radio stations across the state to provide Spanish news, and also hosts a call-in show where listeners can ask questions that they may be scared to ask otherwise.
64 to 67% of this population is undocumented in our state. So they are scared about going to the police and ask questions or going anywhere to ask questions because of their legal status. So when you give them a microphone where they can call and talk to a police officer, to an attorney, to the consul from Mexico, that becomes a powerful thing for them. And it's a powerful tool to educate them.
Organizations like El Centro Latino and Que Pasa work hard to bring news and help to Hispanics in the area, but many feel it's not enough. In Carrboro, I'm Joe Mott, Carolina Week.
Que Pasa is working to expand its outreach by starting newspapers and radio stations in Charlotte this year.
Students passing by the new student union might notice they're walking on more than just plain red bricks. Eagle feathers, turtles, and other symbols significant to American Indians of the Southeast are depicted in bricks on the walkway. The artwork, called The Gift, was created by artist Sonora Lynch of the Haliwa Saponi tribe. A crowd gathered for the ceremony held Tuesday, and Lynch dedicated the artwork to the university. Several dancers performed, and the event organizers hope that American Indian culture will continue to thrive here at the university.
Well, the time is here. Seniors, get out a pen and paper and take some notes. This information will be on the test. Caps and gowns go on sale Friday, April 23rd at student stores and cost about $35. Commencement ceremonies begin at 9:30 a.m. on May 9th, but seniors need to be there at 8:30 to line up for the processional. In case of severe weather, commencement will be held in the Dean Smith Center. The decision will be made Sunday morning, so if the skies look a little threatening, listen to WCHL or WXYC for details. Well, nobody likes getting shots.
But if you haven't been vaccinated against hepatitis B, now might be the time. That story when Carolina Week returns.
So, that was the last time I went out with a marinade. Ay, ay, ay. It's not worth the pain, but Julio's different. Music, flowers, no why. My luck, he got hit by a bus.
Excuse me, have you taken the HIV test?
An HIV test? Are you kidding me? You know what gets me hot, Carlos? Oh, baby, baby, I don't know what to say anymore.
Hello, my name is Estelle Ward, and I'd like to speak to someone about my daughter Ruth's financial aid. Hello, yes, I'm Ruth Ward's mom, and I was hoping the university might reconsider. She got good grades. Hello, I'm Ruth Ward's mother, and I'd like to speak to someone about my daughter's financial aid.
The NOS concert scheduled for Thursday night has been canceled. Representatives from the Carolina Union's Activities Board say the rap star canceled his show because of illness. They're working to reschedule the concert for the fall semester. If you purchased a ticket, you can get a refund from the Union box office.
For campus tour groups, there's a lot to see during the spring. One campus group is using shock value to draw the attention of those potential Tar Heels. The Carolina chapter of the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws, or NORML, is trying to make a bang, or is that a bong, on campus, especially during peak touring season. Members of Carolina NORML sat in the pit Tuesday to spread their message, especially to potential freshmen and their parents. Former NORML President Logan Parker says UNC is a liberal school and should attract open-minded students.
And I think that those people are the people that we need to reach out to. So whenever I see those groups, I try to actually be a little bit more vocal, because I think that it's our job to educate those people who think that pot is an evil thing.
Carolina NORML advocates the legalization of marijuana for recreational and medicinal purposes.
The Safe Ride program at UNC is expanding its service, allowing more Carolina students to hit the bars without the worry of finding a designated driver. A $2 increase in student fees will raise the program's budget to about $50,000. Next year's service will provide free transportation for students in Chapel Hill, Fridays and Saturdays from 11:15 p.m. till 2:30 a.m. The new route will cover more of eastern Chapel Hill, making stops at Finley Golf Course, Glen Lennox, University Mall, and Meadowmont.
The June 30th handover of power is rapidly approaching. Will there be peace after the transfer? We're not talking about Iraq. This controversy is actually in Chapel Hill, and it's not over yet. The Orange County Board of Commissioners is holding off on choosing exactly how to transfer control of the animal shelter. It's currently handled by the Animal Protection Society, but the county will soon take over. Commissioners have two options to choose from. Each creates a new town body, but one is a bureau and one is a department. Assistant County Manager Gwen Harvey says it doesn't matter which plan is picked on paper, so long as work is done at the shelter.
And not necessarily agree on model B or C, but to capture the spirit and move forward with the plan as the manager had recommended.
That means more accountability, more volunteer involvement, and less debate in front of the commissioners. The board promises that there will be no hiccup in service, and after cost discrepancies raised by a speaker are cleared up, the commissioners will choose a plan.
Hepatitis A, B, and C are a group of incurable diseases that attack the liver. Together, they infect more than 100,000 Americans each year. Medical reporter Will Alexander tells us even though a vaccine for hepatitis B is available, not everyone is taking advantage of it.
Since 1991, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention have recommended that babies receive hepatitis B vaccines. The CDC says the 3-shot vaccine is safe and gives lifetime immunity to hepatitis B.
So the number of new infections of Hep B have been coming down, and almost all of that in the United States is really attributable to vaccination.
Government statistics show new hepatitis B cases dropped from 198,000 in 1991 to 78,000 in 2001. Jim Allen is president of the American Social Health Association, or ASHA, a health advocacy group in Research Triangle Park.
Right now, we've got a group of young adults in our system who are at risk if they haven't received the vaccine.
That's the conclusion of an April survey released by ASHA. Less than half of young adults said they were sure they had received vaccines for hepatitis B and A. Hepatitis A is commonly spread through contaminated food and water. Hepatitis B is spread through contaminated body fluids. The biggest risks for young Americans are unprotected sex and sharing needles to inject drugs. Most people with hepatitis B will recover after 6 weeks to 6 months of flu-like symptoms. But 1 of every 10 infected people will have complications that can lead to scarring, liver failure, or death. To encourage vaccination, state health departments offer hepatitis B vaccines free to people 19 and younger. Student Health Services also offers a vaccine at a discount. In Chapel Hill, I'm Will Alexander, Carolina Week.
For more information about hepatitis B and other types of hepatitis, visit carolinaweek.org and click on the link to the CDC website. Kelly Mahoney's here to tell us about the weather.
Kelly, I think when you hear people talk about Carolina blue skies, this is exactly what they're talking about.
It is. Temperatures in the 80s and sunny skies this week have been just beautiful. And for the most part, we're looking for that to continue into the weekend. There are a couple changes on the way, though, and I'll tell you more about them in just a minute. But first, I want to go to this week's weather question, which is, during which month does the peak number of tornadoes occur in central North Carolina? Is the answer March, May, July, or October? We'll have the answer and your complete Carolina Week forecast when we return.
I love this place. You give blood and they take the platelets out and give the blood back to you. It gives me goosebumps just to think about it. The hours are a bit strange, but I'm getting used to that. I come whenever I can. After all, isn't it better to give blood to them than to you know who? Just kidding.
Count.
1, 2, 3. Old habits die hard.
For more information on how you can donate, contact the UNC Blood Center.
I think I'll give O negative today.
Boy, that guy is weird.
Thousands of kids in this country have everything it takes to go to college, except the money. The United Negro College Fund. A mind is a terrible thing to waste.
Hi, and welcome back to Carolina Week. Well, the first part of this week has been beautiful. We can't really ask for much better weather. And if we take a look at the weather headlines this week, we will see continued warmth over the next couple of days, which is good news. Increasing clouds could occur Friday, Saturday, and even into Sunday, but nothing too bad to dampen your weekend forecast, although we will see a slight chance of thunderstorm as we head through the weekend. I'll tell you more about that in just a second. But first, I want to go ahead and let you know that North Carolina ozone season is actually on its way. It begins officially on May 1st and ends September 30th. The ozone season is when we start predicting daily forecasts of the air quality in the triangle. Now, in 2003, we had 8 ozone action days, which means that ozone levels were in the unhealthy range or code orange or higher. Now, 2003 was a wet and cool year, so unfortunately, this number 8 was actually below normal. We'd like to see it be less, however, on average, is actually significantly higher. So starting May 1st, be on the lookout for daily air quality forecasts. Now, if we get into this weekend's forecast, we'll start by taking a look at the satellite map where you see a busy looking East Coast, although here in North Carolina, we haven't really seen a whole lot weather-wise except for fairly clear skies and warm temperatures over the last couple of days. This is a fairly innocuous pattern actually for us. We're getting into that part of the year where a lot of the more severe weather actually heads to our north, luckily. Now, over the next couple of days, some of these clouds will start to get scoured out. They'll start to move off the East Coast. However, as we head into the weekend, we'll start to fall into some stronger upper level winds, and that'll usher this cold front eastward. And so as we head into Sunday, that's where we start to see that chance of a scattered thunderstorm. Now, if we take a look at the forecast map, we see that over the next couple of hours, we'll be sitting pretty dry here in North Carolina. Really just the slightest chance of a shower as we head into Friday. So for those in the outing clubs camping out for their Earth Day sleep out in the quad, it should be a very nice forecast Wednesday night into Thursday. Once again, as we head into Friday and Saturday, a slight chance of a shower. And on Sunday, we see our best chance. So if we take a look at the Carolina Week 4-day forecast, we see that on Friday, continued warm temperatures, a high of 85 under partly sunny skies. Overnight lows Friday and Saturday, very mild, just 58 on Friday night. On Saturday, we start to thicken up the clouds a little bit, and by Sunday, we start to see mostly cloudy skies with that slight chance of a thunderstorm. Saturday, the high will still be warm at 80, and we'll start to cool off a little bit Sunday into Monday, but still at 75. It's not too bad. If you're thinking of heading down to the beach this weekend, beautiful weather there on Saturday, mostly sunny skies with a high of 81 degrees. Overnight lows very mild in the mid-50s. And on Sunday, clouds thicken up once again, but not too bad. If you're thinking of heading out to the mountains instead, temperatures will be a little bit cooler out there, partly sunny on Saturday, again, thickening clouds on Sunday, but temperatures are 73 on Saturday, cooling down just a tad on Sunday. And the only thing bad about the nice weather is that allergies do play a role in. We'll see a chance of some high pollen levels over the weekend, but that's really the only thing we can complain about. So getting back real quick to the weather question, does anyone want to guess when we see the greatest chance of tornadoes in North Carolina?
Well, I hope we won't see them at all, but any guesses, guys?
I'm going to say C.
That'll be an answer, C.
It's actually May, so in the coming weeks, keep an eye to the sky. However, it's not very common here in North Carolina, so we have that going for us.
All right, Kelly, thank you.
Sure.
Luke Notestein is here now with sports.
Luke, the Carolina sports teams have had quite a season.
It's been quite an amazing run. Even though school is ending, the sports are still going on. So get out and watch those Tar Heels. Coming up on Carolina Week Sports, before students head into exams, we'll look back at the winter and spring sports seasons here at Carolina. From the Olympic dreams of Shalane Flanagan to the ups and downs of Roy Williams' first season as head coach.
There is really
only one boy, one girl, one tree, one forest, one ocean, one mountain, one sky, and one simple way to care for it all. Please visit earthshare.org and learn how the world's leading environmental groups are working together under one name, EarthShare. One environment, one simple way to care for it.
Okay, guys, time for takeoff. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off! Wow! Whoa, look at that! Is that Jupiter?
Hey kids, it's time to go to the planetarium.
Moorhead Planetarium, where dreams become reality.
What up? Stuart Scott from ESPN. I'm here in Chapel Hill in the Dean Dome, but you know what? When I go home and turn on my TV, I'm actually not watching Sports Center when I'm here in Chapel Hill. I'm watching Carolina Week Sports. Booyah!
Baseball and softball are among the spring sports that have put together outstanding seasons. The men's basketball team returned to the NCAA tournament, and the men's tennis team had its best season in 25 years. Here's a look back at Carolina spring sports.
This is my life. It's not what it was before. All these feelings I've shared, and these are my dreams that I've never lived before. Somebody shake me, 'cause I must be sleeping. These are my words I've never said before. I think I'm doing okay. This is the smile I've never shown before. Somebody shake me, 'cause I must be sleeping. Some
Congratulations to all the Carolina athletes, and thank you for letting Carolina Week Sports be a part of your season. Guys, fantastic season. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did.
It was great. Absolutely.
Thanks, Luke. As the spring sports season comes to a close, so does the school year.
Coming up, we'll take a look at some of the biggest stories making headlines at Carolina this year.
Mr. and Mrs. Jones, Sally's having some behavioral problems.
I guess that reward system isn't working.
Well, the timeouts weren't either.
Well, you're just too lenient.
Well, you're too strict.
No, you are.
Oh, you are.
Where can adults go for ideas when they feel as frustrated as kids? ConnectForKids.org, guidance for grown-ups.
Recycling all our Sunday papers would save over 500,000 trees a week. Recycle. It's the everyday way to save the world.
If you have a story idea, contact Carolina Week at 843-8292. You can also visit us online at carolinaweek.org. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNCCH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, 27599.
From Hurricane Isabel to the debates about the out-of-state tuition cap to the student body president election scandal,
Carolina Week has been there through it all. Here's a look at all of the top stories that Carolina Week brought you this year.
Only 2 cameras are up right now. Officials plan to install another 8 cameras in the next few months.
Keep my eyes wide open.
Fans without tickets could still enjoy the show from outside the stadium.
While Isabel may not be growing much in intensity, it does continue to grow in size. Shelves at this local Harris Teeter are emptying quickly as people stock up on items like bottled water.
Just 21, Shaniqua is not only raising 5 kids, she's doing it alone. Her husband is overseas, defending our freedom.
The workers say they're underpaid and unfairly treated, an argument central to nickel and dimed.
The university IMAP server went down about 10:30 Tuesday morning. Since then, computer technicians have been working around the clock to fix the problem.
I love you and nobody else.
At the stroke of midnight, Clay Maniacs were able to buy his CD.
Construction on campus isn't anything new, but it is strange to see the back of a building missing. Each year, thousands of people make their way to Raleigh, each looking for that favorite piece of the fair.
A record 78,000 people packed Franklin Street Friday night. Campus police have arrested 7 men in connection with a string of recent break-ins.
The newest draft proposal for Carolina North attempts to incorporate the historic feel of Carolina.
The silver Volkswagen Beetles are members of UNC's new Zip Car program.
The BOT would increase out-of-state tuition by $1,500 each year for the next 3 years.
Monday, the university was closed and a blanket of snow and ice covered the campus.
The Southern senator knew he'd have a tough time gaining the 22 delegates from New Hampshire. Edwards says his campaign is just getting started.
Word came from Town Hall Thursday evening that cameras on Airport Road and 15501 have to go.
Students and faculty who ate from the upstairs salad bar in Lenoir on January 19th were 5 times more likely to contract the virus.
The 2 runoff candidates in the student body president race are Matt Calabria and Lily West. A day after the student body president runoff election, the race is still undecided.
The new student body president is still undetermined.
The Passion of the Christ centers around Jesus' last 12 hours on earth.
No one thought it would take this long to elect a new student body president.
A Super Tuesday for John Kerry means the end of the road for the Edwards campaign. Edwards announced on Wednesday he's dropping out of the race.
With 57.8% of the vote, your new student body president is Matt Calabria.
That does it for this edition, the final edition of Carolina Week for this school year. Thank you so much for watching.
We want to take a moment to say goodbye to our graduating seniors, my co-anchor Jenny McClendon, our producers Lisa Doliner and Jane Choi, director Amanda Matthews, and all of the others. Thanks so much. Thank you for joining us and have a great night.
Good night.